see his speeds now traveling on Center Street northbound have really slowed quite a bit. We'll pull out of this shot just a little bit because I do have a feeling there could be an opportunity here if CHP decides to take it, if the suspect makes another turn to try the pit maneuver. The speeds are such that they could do that. We don't see a lot of oncoming traffic. There's always a concern if you do a pit maneuver where the vehicle would, the patrol car would come up to the rear end of the vehicle as it starts to turn, tap it, it'll spin out, and then another vehicle will come right towards it and sort of pin it in place. That's a possibility in an area like this. You see the suspect, though, just turned into oncoming traffic and made that turn. Fortunately, there was no traffic. We're on a small street, Dunia Street. I still believe this is going to be the Irwindale area, and CHP is still the authority so far. It's hard to tell if this could be a dead end at this point, but it's certainly possible. And you can see there are 2 patrol cars as well as a motor unit behind the vehicle. CHP also has a helicopter overhead. They're keeping an eye on the suspect. And again, it wouldn't surprise me if we see the officers on the scene try a pit maneuver because the speeds have gotten so slow. And certainly we're happy to see that. From what we can tell, only one person. You can see a little bit of that person in the window there. You can also see all the damage. Only one person, the suspect in this case, inside that vehicle. We've been told it started in the mid-city area on the 10 freeway at Arlington. CHP trying to pull the vehicle over for expired tags. Now, I'm pretty sure, yeah, we're back on Dunia Street, and there's a very good chance that CHP could now try and surround this vehicle and maybe get this over with. There's sort of a close call. That vehicle that approached him was in a weird spot in the middle of the roadway, so it's unclear if that person may have known he was coming. But it started for expired tags. It has gone around in circles now once, coming up on possibly twice in the same neighborhood, and the suspect just failed to yield. He did not pull over. Now we have onto a different street on Hornbrook Avenue. Almost looks like a hesitation here, and possibly the suspect will give himself up. He has his arm out the door. It almost appeared that he had both hands out the door there for a moment, and that does appear to be the case. It looks like he may possibly obey the officers, get out of the vehicle with both hands where officers can see them, not make any quick movements towards his waist belt, and then more than likely have him directed to back up towards them and then straight down onto the pavement if the suspect is going to abide with their commands. If we can push in, Jamie, does he have both of his hands out? Kind of difficult for me to tell, but yes, he does. There comes the door. The door is open. The suspect is slowly coming out of the vehicle. We don't see anyone else inside the vehicle at this point except for the suspect. Certainly doing now exactly what the officers are telling him to do. Keep your hands out. Get down on the ground. They'd like to see the keys in some instances so the suspect does not get back inside the vehicle. Spread your arms, put your arms behind your back. If the vehicle didn't put in park, you can see it's rolling a bit there. Put your hands behind your back, spread your legs so it'd make it more difficult for the suspect to get up and run if the suspect decides to do that. But they're approaching the suspect now in a situation like this. They want to clear the vehicle. As far as we know, there's no one else inside the vehicle, but that's always a concern. And it looks like now the suspect is in custody. So at one point, it was a very wild pursuit, especially when the suspect slammed into another vehicle on the 210 freeway out into the San Dimas area. The suspect now in custody, unclear whether or not in that accident anyone was hurt. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, there was a report the suspect may have thrown something out of the vehicle at the 210 and the 605, which is far from here, possibly a gun or a weapon of some type. So that's the information that we have, but certainly now that this is over, there's no longer a threat to this community of Irwindale, and CHP has taken the suspect into custody. So at least for now, it is all over. And as far as we know, no one was seriously hurt. Michelle, do you want to go back to the cross to the 210 where the accident occurred? And do you have that cross street? This is over. Good morning, Jay. I guess there was an accident on the 210 freeway. I don't have the cross. I think it was in San Dimas somewhere. I'm curious if you want to go up there and see if the vehicle is still there. Okay, you got it. Oh, it works now? I'm sorry, say again, Jay?